A woman found a strange crystal in the desert, and there seemed to be something mysterious hidden inside. But when the woman looked closely, the crystal with a fist-sized size turned into a weapon. And the more amazing thing is, there is a tiny star in the middle of the weapon. Obviously, this weapon is not the technology of the Earth. Brother Hammer proposed to test the power of the weapon, but the woman was worried that the power of the mysterious weapon was too great if she accidentally destroyed the Earth. But the excited woman also wanted to try this weapon, and they are now in the desert. There is no better test site than here. However, for safety, the woman set the weapon energy to the lowest. Then she pressed the start button anxiously. The weapon in her hand started to charge. Brother Hammer smiled and looked forward to the result of the experiment. But the next second, Brother Hammer at this time was shocked and couldn't speak. Only the lowest energy will have such a great power. The desert in front of her was cut in half. The woman's name is Molly. When she was still a little girl, a strange little alien actually broke into her room. The man in black downstairs was investigating this matter, and her parents were the eunuchs who erased this memory. But the man in black who left did not find it. Molly on the second floor saw the whole process. The girl was sure that the man in black had left. She immediately opened the window and let the alien escape. However, the alien said something strange to her before leaving. I don't know if it was this sentence that saved her life. The woman was determined to enter the mysterious organization of the Man in Black. She trained as a super agent for 20 years, although she could pass every interview. However, the department she entered did not belong to the Man in Black. For a long time, others thought she was crazy. The woman who did not give up even entered the American Aerospace Bureau. Darling, the original boring job was completely changed because of a discovery. The woman accidentally found an alien spaceship that day. The spaceship landed on the Earth with the help of a meteor shower. The woman took off her coat and chased out, but when she arrived at the landing site, she found nothing. However, when the woman was depressed and ready to leave, the surprised pigeon on the roadside made the woman turn around quickly. The pigeon disappeared through the isolation net. The woman reached out her palm, and there was a layer of mysterious energy in front of her. The woman then passed through this layer of disguise. Not far away, she happened to see the alien being arrested. The woman knew her chance was coming. She immediately took off her coat and chased up in black. The woman sat low and came all the way to the headquarters of the Man in Black. She calmed down and pulled the steel door. The woman said the words she had practiced tens of thousands of times. I don't know her disguise. Even the alien dogs on the ground can see through. The greedy man immediately notified the headquarters. The woman who entered the elevator was sent to the 100th floor, underground. After looking at her information, the officer ordered to clear the memory, but the woman was so scared that she quickly turned her head. Molly said what happened to her when she was a child, and these years, in order to join the Man in Black, she worked very hard. The reason why the woman cut herself made the officer unable to refuse, and all of her tests were almost full marks. The woman became an intern in the Man in Black. The unit not only customized her a special uniform, in addition, she was equipped with a large Desert Eagle. The officer then sent her to London for the first mission. The woman got on an old subway outside the headquarters, and she came in because she stood in front of the door and blocked others. After lifting the steel door, the alien finally entered. The woman just sat next to the seat after the surprise, but in the next second, the whole subway actually changed. The woman sat on the back seat, and her body was firmly fixed by the seatbelt. The old subway had also become a high-tech spaceship. The spaceship quickly traveled through the exclusive passage. It only took 2 minutes. The spaceship went around half of the Earth and came to London. Here, the woman met all kinds of aliens. And this is obviously a special terminal station. The woman entered the Man in Black through the recognition system. Here, the harmonious communication of different races is so natural. A huge hand suddenly appeared and scared the woman. After turning around, she found a cute alien caterpillar. However, when she wanted to touch it, the alien caterpillar suddenly scattered to one place. The nervous colleague immediately began to capture these little bugs. The whole hall was in a mess in an instant, and the woman's partner, Chui Gay, was in trouble at this time. However, the other party had long discovered that he was a black clothes man. While Chui Gay was strangled, the man successfully solved the little calamus. However, he was soon knocked down on the ground. A three-headed python suddenly stabbed Chui Gay, but Chui Gay grabbed the python and gave it to the little brother next to him. The man turned around and knocked down the enemy, but then he took the enemy's bullet. Chui Gay took up his weapon with a rolling force. He controlled the dangerous situation in an instant. However, the arrogant Chui Gay was attacked by a three-headed python. The man threw the python to his head before he fell, and this kind of venomous snake antidote is only available to female octopus. But in the next second, the venomous snake attacked the leader of the disaster. When the female octopus wanted to save the leader, he was asked by Chui Gay to agree to any request. Chui Gay woke up from the female octopus's arms in the morning, and when he wore a uniform and walked to the black clothes man's branch, Jasmine was admiring his grace with her colleague. The man said hello to the two of them, and the almost drooling Jasmine was awakened by her colleague. At this time, the conference room was setting up an important mission. The officer sent someone to protect this alien royal member Chui Gay, and the two of them soon came to the end of their existence. After they got on a taxi, the alien driver drove the two of them directly to the ground, and a lot of people were very excited to see Chui Gay. However, when a few people were having fun, an electrician was repairing the safety wire because of the power outage. However, at this time, there were two aliens behind him. If there is no accident, the accident is about to happen. The electrician turned around and was attacked by two dragon stars. He was sent back to his hometown in the northwest in an instant. The alien then transformed into an electrician. The two of them soon came to the restaurant where the big nose was. Maybe it was affected by the Earth's environment. The dragon star came to a very powerful street dance, but the other person took the opportunity to shoot an energy needle. The energy needle seemed to have a direct line into the big nose, and just as he fainted, the brave Chui Gay thought he was drunk. The considerate man personally sent the big nose on a special car. However, the car has not yet turned the steering wheel. Sudden explosion directly hit the car, and just when the two of them went to check the situation, two dragon stars have been lying on the ground slowly. But just when the two of them thought they had controlled the situation, the dragon star's eyes were filled with a strange blue light, and just when the two of them hit the ground hard, the road is like a wave of waves rushed to Chui Gay. The two of them fell to the ground under the impact of this energy. Chui Gay immediately pulled out his weapon and began to fight back, and the woman actually assembled an assault rifle. The powerful fire instantly suppressed the enemy, but the dragon star was blinded by the strange body shape, and the car next to it was turned into a shield. The woman opened the rearview mirror and took out a new weapon, but this fire can break the shield, but it still can't hurt the dragon star. The two of them were in a state of panic. Chui Gay, who had no choice, pulled out a big murder weapon from the back of the car. Then he pulled down the wheel and assembled an assault rifle. The powerful fire instantly made the other party only be beaten, and the woman's pulse gun was not damaged at all. At this time, the dragon star turned the motorcycle next to it into a bullet. Fortunately, Chui Gay and the two of them hit each other in the eyes and hands. While the man was holding the enemy, the woman quietly came to the big nose. The seriously injured alien gave the woman a piece of gold before she died and predicted that there would be a mole in the black man's organization, and this piece of gold is the only thing that can protect them. After saying this, the big nose star will sleep forever. At this time, Chui Gay fired a red arrow at the alien. The violent explosion directly turned the dragon star into a star, and at this time, the support of the black man has also been lost. But when the black man's army surrounded the Dragon Star, the strange Dragon Star disappeared after the fusion. The people who returned to the headquarters began to investigate the cause of the big nose. They found a kind of knife-like toxin in the alien's body. Chuige picked up the smell of the toxin in the museum, but then he was sure of the source of this toxin. The two immediately boarded a spaceship to look for clues. It took only 3 minutes to get to a remote small town, but when the two came to the store that made this toxin, the fire in the store has long hated the Northwest City, and the shopkeepers in the house are also in danger. But when Chuige wanted to investigate further, suddenly the gunshot directly scared the two of them. It turns out that this group is the only survivor of this store. Don't use his personality charm. Let the group willingly take him as the new owner. But at this time, the two of them didn't know it was this group that saved the world behind. The two who went out just wanted to find the next clue, but a large number of men in black have already surrounded here. The two immediately hid behind a small stall. The woman just told Chuigi the secret. Debbie Zixingren gave him a piece of gold before he died. And this time the action is that the superior came for the gold. The officer suspected that Debbie Zixingren's death was related to this thing, and the gold was actually stolen from the Alien Military Research Institute. But Chuige's superior told them to hide. It turns out that this action was arranged by the adjutant. The superior basically confirmed that there was an insider among the men in black. Chuige handed the gold to the woman's colleague. Then he took the initiative to attract the attention of his colleagues. A large number of men in black chased after Chuige. In order to get rid of being surrounded, he borrowed an alien motorcycle from a friend. However, when the two were discussing how to fix it, the bearded monster, hidden in the teacup, snatched the gold. He took the time to open the flying device and left this place. The alien motorcycle was finally repaired by the two, and the next day, Chuige drove a speedboat to the Dead Eagle Fortress. The mysterious gold stone has been put in the bag by the owner here. The surveillance on the island can clearly see everything around, and Jasmine took advantage of them to leave the ship. But when the female owner saw Chuige, she beat her first. It turned out that she was the ex-girlfriend of the man. In order to express her apology, Chuige sent the group as a gift, and at this time, Jasmine was about to climb to the top of the island. However, the woman who received the gift immediately turned her face. She ordered her subordinates to drive Chuige out of the fortress. It turned out that she had realized that the purpose of the man was the mysterious gold stone. At this time, Jasmine had sneaked into the woman's room. However, when she just got the mysterious gold stone, the sudden appearance of the female owner called her. But when the other party took out the weapon and pointed at Jasmine, the group on the other side stopped her. The female owner's gun almost hit Jasmine, and when the two started a fierce battle, at this time, Chuige also got rid of the guard's shackles. Then she sneaked into the island's surveillance room. Chuige just got rid of the weapons on the island, and the next second, she was put on the table by An Bao. Then she kicked Chuige out. Jasmine was put on the table by the other party, but then the two grabbed each other's necks. However, the woman with many hands quickly got rid of the shackles, and then she kicked the woman to the ground. At this time, Chuige actually found a hammer, and when he was struggling to get this iron hammer, Chuige stood up and seemed to become that invincible thunder god again. However, the hammer that was thrown out was easily caught by the other party. Embarrassing Chuige was really embarrassed. At the same time, Jasmine used the rope on one side to tie the other party's life, and the woman who got up was unable to break free from the rope. Jasmine took the opportunity to push the woman on the table down directly. Then she punched him hard, and that's how the battle ended. However, what was unexpected was that Chuige was brought here by An Bao. Jasmine had no choice but to hand over the gold stone. However, when the two were about to go to the northwest, Jasmine's words actually made An Bao stop. It turned out that the other party was the alien saved by Jasmine, and in the next second, he actually pointed the weapon at the woman. The woman eventually handed over the gold stone, reluctantly. But when the two were about to leave the island, the ground under their feet suddenly changed quickly. In just a moment, a lot of mud rolled down, and the magical dragon star appeared behind them at this time. However, when the two were about to go to the northwest, Jasmine took out the alien weapon and was ready to fight to the death. But in the next second, the two of them were controlled by a few laser beams. The two dragon stars evaporated directly under the attack of the man in black. While Jasmine was removing the alien weapon, the boss has reached the forbidden area, and the mysterious alien weapon was handed over to the other party. After returning, the two were welcomed like heroes. However, when they calmed down, they felt something was wrong. They found the weapon storage, but found that the gold stone had disappeared. But when the two of them arrived at the bottom of the iron tower, the channel of the link is open again. The two who came in found that the man was activating the transmission door, and his target was actually the Earth. While Chui Gay let the other party leave the control panel, the man reached out to wrap around his arm. Unexpectedly, Jasmine immediately started attacking. However, in the next second, he was thrown out directly. Looking at a wave of monsters trying to enter the transmission door, Chui Gay ran all the way and jumped directly on the other party, and the alien weapon in the hands of the monster was also thrown aside. The monster turned around and grabbed the weapon on the ground. However, Chui Gay tried to call the monster's #1 agent. It's only because he's been treating it as his father for so many years. The monster turned around and grabbed Chui Gay's neck, and Jasmine, who wanted to sneak attack, was thrown into the transmission door by the other party. The woman felt that she was getting farther and farther away from the Earth, but in the next second, the group actually opened the aircraft to save her. While the group was using the steel rope to hold Jasmine, then turned the aircraft back immediately. She used another rope gun to hook the barrier, then start the rope, and the two of them were finally saved. At this time, the consciousness of Agent #1 actually recovered a little, then cooperate with Chui Gay to take the mysterious crystal Jasmine, who came back, just picked it up. However, the monsters in the transmission door have already merged with each other. Jasmine immediately turned the crystal into a weapon. Then he turned on the maximum energy. Just one shot sent the other party directly back to his hometown in the northwest. Even the old nest behind the transmission door must have been blown up. The video is basically over. The movie Black Cloak Man 4 was released in 2019. Thank you for your support. The wonderful science fiction commentary continues.